Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Asian Psycho. I'm bringing you guys another Exploring the Arsenal Extra featuring me, Asian Psycho, aka TouhouSniper98, and we're going to be taking a look at it's an explosive launcher this time, the MZP-1. This launcher has been around for quite some time. It's been some time since Nexon first released it for a permanent purchase or during the preview sales and whatnot. So yeah, the MZP-1. Let's get started on the review on the MZP-1. But before we get started, I know, oxymoron, right? Before we get started, I'd like to give a few shoutouts to a few people who I think deserve a few shoutouts. First of all is going to be MK659. He's going to be playing with me in this game, and he asked for me a shout out, and I was like, okay, I'll give you a shout out. Why not? So there you go, MK659. There's your shout out, and there you go. And a couple more people that I want to shout out before I forget. Earlier today, I was trying to get some XP in for in my daily grind to rank up to Brigadier General. Right now, I'm about 40% into Brigadier General, so I'm like 60% away, and I was having a rough day, and as usual, I think I got rage kicked like 3 times in a row. So the last game that I played for today was a game that is like, well, if I get kicked from this, I'm just gonna get off because this is wasting my time, to be honest. So the last game that I joined was a Colty game that had the following people in it: Fast Norris, Fast Clutches, and Pinky Star. I think some of the fast guys from the Fast Clan was there as well. So yeah, big shout out to Fast Norris, Fast Clutches, and Pinky Star for letting me play with them. They were pretty cool and they were pretty nice. We had a good time running around trying to knife each other. And it's funny because I think at one point I told him that if you knife me, I'll give you a 90-day GP weapon, but no one ended up doing that. So whatever, it's all in good fun though. But anyways, big shout out to them. I really thank God that Fast Norris, I think Fast Norris was the E-mod of that room, so thank God he knew who I was, and he didn't rage kick me, otherwise I would have been throwing my mouse out the window a couple times. But anyways, now the shoutouts are done, let's get started on the MZP-1 review. So, rank unlocked, there's no really rank restriction because it is an NX standard launcher, just like the XM25, and the cost on it was available for permanent purchase for a time, but then obviously now it only costs 700 NX a day because it's been out for quite some time, so you don't need to worry about buying it for only 30 days or something like that. So, let's get on with the nitty-gritty stats of the MZP-1. The MZP-1 features a 68 damage. Now, compared to like the Law and the RPG-7, this is lower than average, or it's lower than those two, but it's still a 2-shot kill. Though because of its lower damage, that means that the MZP-1 has roughly the same blast radius, but the effective range of it is much more decreased than the RPG-7 or the Law. In other words, it'll still deal a two shot kill, but you need to aim a little bit more closely to your opponents in order to ensure a clean two-shot kill. So there you go. Portability wise, the portability is pretty heavy on the MZP-1 because it is a grenade launcher at 45. So I don't know, I forgot what the portability stat was on the Law and the RPG-7, but I'm pretty sure they were around the same, if not a little bit lower. But I believe the MZP-1 is the faster of the grenade launchers or rocket launchers in general in combat arms, but it's still a rocket launcher, so I mean it's still heavy. Now, moving on to the rate of fire. Nexon doesn't really give a rate of fire for the MZP-1, but the rate of fire on the MZP-1 is, I don't really want to give it a rate of fire because it's like, why even bother, right? But it definitely fires faster than the Law because it's like a tubular weapon. Like the Law is like a single fire weapon, and your character basically needs to discard one to bring another back in. The RPG-7 is also a tubular one, but it fires like actual warheads. But the MZP-1 is a grenade launcher, and I mean, rate of fire, it's slower than the RPG-7, but it's faster than the Law, and it's about the same as the M79 China Lake, which you unlock later. But we'll get to that later once the rank comes up for that. But yeah, that kind of gives you, hopefully that gives you an idea of how fast it fires. So, oh, and on top of that, you can also reload cancel, or I like to call it reload cancel for lack of a better term, because you can actually reload this faster than the game will allow, because when you fire the MZP-1, it'll actually have like it'll actually give you like an animation where the MZP-1 is recoiling from your shot, and during that short time that's recoiling from your shot, you can't reload it, or your character waits for the gun to settle back, and then your character will start to reload it. If you quick switch it, like quickly switch to another weapon and then quickly switch back to your MZP-1, you can immediately start reloading it immediately after you've fired a shot. So it kind of shaves off a second or two off your overall reload time. So make sure to keep that in mind, because it can save your life once in a while. Now moving on to its accuracy. Now it doesn't really, next one once again doesn't really give it an accuracy. So in terms of its accuracy, I'll discuss its range. The MZP-1 is a parabolic grenade launcher or rocket launcher. In other words, it behaves like the M79 and the M32 series of explosives. Basically, you need to aim a little bit up into the air for enemies who are kind of far away from you in order to hit them, because the grenade launcher the grenades are actually affected by gravity, and it'll take like a parabolic trajectory to your enemies. So it's not like the rocket launcher, or no, not any rocket launcher, but it's not like the RPG-7 or the Law in that the rockets go straight. You have to actually aim with the MZP-1 kind of like a little bit upwards in order to hit your enemies. Obviously, that means that it doesn't have as much range as the Law or the the RPG-7, but it is very useful for hitting people who are in elevated positions. Like, for example, if you're shooting someone up on the rooftops on oil rig and you're not at the same level as they are, then the MZP-1 and other grenade launcher type of rockets, explosives, are very useful, because unlike the Law or the RPG, which only goes in a straight line, you can actually shoot upwards and you can expect the grenade to fall back down. So that's a very useful thing, just like the XM25 on top of that. So obviously, so once again, the range isn't that great, but you can use its accuracy and its range to your advantage given certain situations. Now moving on to the recoil. The recoil on the MZP-1 is at a 53. Now, the recoil is like one of those statistics where like it's a waste of time even to mention them, because I mean, it's a single fire weapon. The recoil won't even matter at all. I mean, it's not like you're going to be rapid firing this MZP-1 anyway, so recoil, you don't really need to worry about it. To have fireability, it has none to begin with. I mean, it's a single fire weapon, so why bother? Now, sprint drawback. Sprint drawback, because it is a rocket, like an explosive weapon, like a grenade launcher. Sprint drawback isn't necessarily the greatest, but it's definitely faster than the RPG-7 or the Law. I don't know. I just tend to think that way. So, moving on to the draw speed. The draw speed is it has a completely silent draw animation, just like the RPG-7, but I believe it has the same draw animation as the M79, and regarding how fast it is, it's not too fast, but it's not too slow either. So it's just right, I think. Nothing to be worried about anyway. Moving on to the center speed. Well, it's an explosive rocket launcher. Why would we even bother talking about the center speed? We'll skip that. Reload speed. Now, I mentioned before that you can actually like hasten your reload speed by kind of quick switching your reload. So yes, do keep that in mind. Do keep that kind of trick in mind. And yeah, the reload itself isn't too bad, but compared to other weapons anyway, it is a grenade launcher, so the reload speed is going to take a little bit of time. Moving on to its fire mode, it's only available in fire mode, that's single fire only, and you have to reload each individual grenade individually. Redundancy. Anyways, so that's its fire modes. Luck, I mean, you don't really get headshots with explosives, so let's get on with let's ignore the luck aspect of it. Ammo capacity. Now this is where the MZP-1 kind of is superior to the other explosives. The MZP-1 carries 4 grenades instead of the usual 3. The Law, the RPG-7, and the M79 M79 grenade launcher, or the China Lake, as Black Ops likes to call it, they all carry 3 grenades, 3 rockets or 3 grenades, what have you. But the MZP-1 is unique in that it comes with 4. So whether or not you want to think this is useful, it's up to you. But for example, my friend Protagonist, has the MZP-1 for permanent, and he's convinced that he's absolutely convinced that the MZP-1's fourth grenade is a lifesaver, especially in quarantine. I myself have never really played quarantine, nor do I have this for perm, but it's quite useful having that fourth grenade, because I mean, because with 4 grenades you can theoretically take out 2 people who have full HP, so that's really obviously having more ammo is better than not having more ammo. So I guess you can't really do anything to benefit from it. So there you go. Moving on to the key physical characteristics. Now, it has a extendable buttstock, and it's basically like a tubular kind of grenade launcher. If you guys have played Modern Warfare 3, and you guys kind of know what the M779 grenade launcher looks like, it kind of reminds me of that. I don't know how, I don't know why, but the profile picture on the Nexon's Arsenal page kind of reminds me of the Modern Warfare 3 M779 grenade launcher. So I don't know, it kind of reminds me of that. Moving on to the muzzle noise. Muzzle noise is surprisingly not that loud for a grenade launcher. The MZP-1 kind of had like a whoosh noise, like a boom noise. I don't know if you guys have ever played E.T.A 2. It kind of sounds like a grenade launcher from E.T.A 2, the Flash game. So I don't know. I'm just weird like that, I guess. Moving on to attachment options, you can't really attach anything because it's a grenade launcher. You can't really attach any modifications onto a grenade launcher to begin with. Moving on to whether or not it's fireteam worthy, I wouldn't really say so. I mean, I guess you can use it against, yeah, it's actually pretty useful for like Desert Thunder and Desert Fox, because I mean, obviously the human NPCs are very susceptible to I can't say that word, susceptible to explosive fire. Like especially in Desert Thunder, you just chuck explosives at them and they're gonna be gone within seconds. So yeah, for Desert Thunder and Fireteam and MXHQ, I guess, it's quite decent. But in the zombie fire teams, nah, don't even bother. Moving on to quarantine worthy. Well, of course, any explosive weapon in quarantine is pretty useful. I mean, the MZP-1 included, because it has four grenades, and having more grenades is always better. So yeah. So, in my frank personal opinions on the MZP-1, the MZP-1 isn't explosive, so, I mean, I don't really use the MZP-1 too often, nor do I use other, like, grenade or rocket launchers to begin with, but, I mean, it is what it is. I like to go trolling with it, so, I mean, if you want to use it tactically, then be my guest, go ahead, and I mean, you can use this very tactically, but, I mean, most people will just think you're a troll on top of that, so, it is a very useful grenade launcher, but I think you can just use this, go the same with, like, an RPG 7 or something like that, so, anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.